Hey, everybody, it's Everett with Ohio for Freedom. I'm coming on rather short notice live here on Tuesday the 17th at about 6:30, actually 6:35. And I just wanted to kind of give you sort of an update. Yesterday, it would have had to have been on their 6 o'clock newscast in Colorado Springs, the ABC affiliate, I believe, but the call letters are KOOA 5 produced this very telling piece of video regarding Brady Boyd and Gateway Church. And I just wanted to share it with you and make just a couple of comments. Now, last I checked, about 30 minutes ago, about 800 people maybe have seen this video, which is kind of the way it usually rolls in a local market for YouTube. They're a TV station, not a YouTube station. But I really think you want to see this because if you've been following the Robert Morris, the Cindy Clemishire, the Brady Boyd thing, this is a really straightforward, like brutal piece of video. And I'm on a very short leash. We're going to share this very, very, very quickly. But I just want to. So here's an inside shot of one of the reporters that worked on this story, and I just want to read a verse of scripture, and I pulled up several translations. I'm going to settle on the Berean Standard. It's Deuteronomy 32:35. Vengeance is mine. I will repay in due time. Their foot will slip, for their day of disaster is near, and their doom is coming quickly. So I'm going to jump out of that, and this is about a 6.5-minute video. I don't think they would give me a copyright strike if we played it all the way through. I don't have a lot of commentary, but I want you to see and keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is the local news media. This is mainstream media. It's ABC affiliate. And this is one of their hometown heroes. New Life Church in Colorado Springs is a big church, but that being said, let's play the video.
Court documents say the leader of New Life Church in Colorado Springs knew a pastor at his previous church in Texas sexually abused a child. New Life is one of the largest churches in Colorado Springs, and Brady Boyd is the senior pastor. The court documents allege that leadership at New Life hired Boyd despite knowing he was among those who were informed of the abuse. Senior reporter Megan Cloherty has read the documents and has a response from New Life Church. Megan, Boyd spoke about this during services earlier this month. What did he say?
Diane, he denies knowing anything about the abuse. You'll hear more from him in just a moment. Pastor Brady Boyd is not accused of any crimes in the court documents. However, a motion filed in a Texas lawsuit says Boyd knew that a fellow pastor at his last church had sexually abused a young woman several decades ago.
I was deceived. I was lied to.
During Sunday service on June 8th, Senior Pastor Brady Boyd told some 15,000 New Life Church congregants and 1,700 viewers online about who he calls his former mentor, Robert Morris. He says Morris hired him to help build Gateway Church in Dallas-Fort Worth, where Boyd became associate senior pastor and a church elder. 7 years later, Boyd was hired as senior pastor at New Life.
I worked alongside him, had no reason to believe that he had any kind of character issues. He did confide in me that he had had a moral failure when he was 20 years old. And that's really all the details that he shared.
But there was more to the story.
I'm just going to jump in, folks, and just for fair use, but I got to read this comment. Alsgal 53. Everett, I live just north of Colorado Springs in Monument. I about fell out when I heard about this. Good grief, Duggan, now the pastor at New Life. And I'm not going to have a whole lot of commentary, folks, but just again, I'll point out last week, I was joined by Lynn Demarese of Gospel of Narc and Vanessa Johnson, attorney Vanessa Johnson. You can find her on YouTube and Gospel of Narc on YouTube. And 40,000 people saw that episode that we did on Monday. Now, we gave a lot of commentary, some really good commentary. My guest gave a lot of commentary. Now, this piece here doesn't give any commentary because it's a news piece. But again, I just want to point out how thorough and stark this is. And then again, just think, this is one of the major news outlets in Colorado Springs. man, what's going on in the hearts and minds of the members of this church? What is this pastor going to do? Is he going to anyway, I'll have a little bit to say, but I want to get back to the video. And I've put a link in the description on YouTube to this video. I'd recommend you just it's 6.5 minutes, watch it. They put some time and energy, and keep in mind, folks, these affiliates, they have legal. And what they do, they have to make sure that'll work up the chain with corporate and all of that. So I just see it as these guys put their ducks in a row, and this is brutal. Let's keep going.
Last summer, Morris was indicted on 5 felony counts of lewd and indecent acts with a child in Oklahoma, where the victim, Cindy Clemishire, lived. According to charging documents, the alleged 4 years of abuse began in 1982, when Clemishire was between 12 and 16 years old. Morris was in his 20s. Now he's 63. Last year, some 43 years after the initial abuse allegedly occurred, prosecutors filed felony charges against the senior pastor at Gateway Church, and he lost his job. Now, Morris has filed to get retirement benefits that he says he was promised. Morris is demanding $1 million up front and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year until he and his wife pass. In May of this year, Gateway filed an appeal in Tarrant County, Texas, after its attorneys say Morris broke the terms of his contract by skipping the agreed-upon step of mediation before taking a dispute to the courts. Morris filed a subsequent motion, and in it, he spells out when and where he told the church elders about his actions with Clemishire. But Gateway leaders argue in their filing that Morris, quote, withheld critical information and strategically mischaracterized his misconduct, falsely describing his sexual abuse of a child as merely an inappropriate relationship with a young woman. Morris responded, Gateway seeks to rewrite history in alleging Gateway elders didn't know about the relationship or its extent until 2024. Actually, the documents prove they knew by 2005, if not earlier. But Brady Boyd became an elder at Gateway Church 5 years earlier, in 2000. And so, according to the timeline spelled out in the affidavit, he would have been informed of the abuse. But
do you see how thorough they're being? And I just gotta, I know a little bit about video editing. Video, I don't care how good you are. This takes time. Now, of course, they have the resource to do it. But what I'm trying to point out is if you look at how well this is put together, somebody at the production executive level made the okay, put the time into it, spend the time in it, put your ducks in a row, and I want a first-class quality piece on this story. And once again, folks, this is in the home market of Colorado Springs. And a church of 15,000 in there, I mean, this is not a decision, the way you handle it, that you take lightly. So what I'm saying is this is a very, very big deal. And maybe, I don't know what order I was going to do this, but I'll do it this way if that works. So I wanted to pull, let's see here. There we go. This, I just went back and looked at the Julie Roy's article related to this, and I just pulled 3 screenshots only. Because this, but I wanted to read this. This is one, there was a headline that said, "This is an attack of the enemy," Boyd stated. And he promised his church, which claims 15,000 attendees, "I will always tell you the truth, even if it hurts me. I will never, ever mislead you or misguide you. This is an attack of the enemy." I'm going to come on and say, Brady, it's not an attack of the enemy. It's Deuteronomy 32:35 that we read earlier. The truth is coming out. This is of the Lord. It looks like, Mr. Boyd, that you're on the wrong side of this. And it looks like even on that Sunday morning, this is my opinion, happens to be right, you could have told the truth. It would have been painful. You would have got over it. I'll just ask this question now. Folks, what is this gentleman going to do? I'm going to state my opinion. I do not believe him. The local media does not believe him. The local media may, I know I'm reiterating, I'm saying the same thing twice, plus being redundant and repeating myself, but the local media in a major market made the decision, we are going to run this piece and we're going to do it first class. And they are challenging what Brady Boyd said. And what's today, the 17th? He gave that talk on the 8th of June. That's 9 days ago. So maybe let's just think for a minute. So Brady Boyd must have thought that, okay, I'm going to get up there. I'm going to be real laid back. I'm going to spend 17 minutes. I'm going to sit on a bar stool or sit on a chair, look like we're just having a nice, family chat. I'll spend, the first 6 or 7 minutes and I'll talk about how my wife had a health scare and went to the emergency room, but she came home the same night. And another, heartstring tugging story about a young man that they knew that was harmed and on, riding mountain bikes or something like that. I'm not, dismissing the fact that these things probably happened. Did it have to be part of that 17 minutes? I don't know, but it was like, I believe it was like 9 minutes in before he got to any substance. And by then maybe he thought he had everybody warmed over there on his side and he could say, I would never mislead you or anything like that. But the problem is, Mr. Boyd, the local media is not buying it. And the legal department of KOOA5 isn't buying it. Their viewership isn't buying it. The podcasters aren't buying it. Lynn Demarese of Gospel Narc's not buying it. Vanessa Johnson's not buying it. For what it's worth, yours truly isn't. You know what? We're not buying it, Brady. So here's my question, folks. What is he going to do? Is he just going to I don't know anything about this. I don't know. This is happening. What's he going to do? Is he going to get up next Sunday and is he just going to ignore it and go on? Is he going to do a Gary Cassie and say, okay, enough about that. Let's get into the word. Or is he going to double down? And I just throw this out, these affiliates, they have a legal department. They're not going to run a story that they think they're going to get sued over. And if they would get sued over something, they're going to have their ducks in a row. But I don't think that he would do that. But if he did do that, discovery is a pretty powerful thing. Let me get to just one more slide or two more slides. I just wanted to show you this. This is from the email that came out, I think in 2011 or 2007, but I just want to show, if you look on the right side, and this was an email from Truth Revealed at hush.com, go down 3, B. Boyd at New Life Church. So this information, if he didn't have it by 2000 or 2005, I don't know if I can see the date on this. It's Tuesday, 27th of December, 2011. That information would have been sent to him. But again went to the Roy's article, and I just want to read 2 screenshots. The email from Tom Lane, I believe he was one of the elders also, dated August 29th, 2007, which described the meeting of several Gateway elders about how to respond to Black's disclosure to New Life. Black would be Karen Black. That would be Cindy Clemishire's sister. How to respond to her disclosure to New Life was addressed to Boyd, among others. Here's what I had highlighted. When confronted with these facts, Boyd emailed TRR, the Roy's report, that he was already, quote, in Colorado Springs, August 6th of 2007 to preach 3 straight weekends. And I just got to say, did Colorado Springs in 2007 have the World Wide Web yet? Did they have the www.worldwideweb.email going? I mean, it's not the days of the Pony Express. And a guy at an executive level with Gateway and stuff, that would have been back in the BlackBerry days. But at any rate, people carried a laptop. And to say that you could go for 3 straight weekends and you missed an email, that just doesn't pass the smell test, does it? It just doesn't pass the smell test. And then another thing that I just thought was interesting about that, I've had a little while to think about it, was that you're preaching for this church 3 straight weekends. I thought you were candidating, and that's kind of like a tryout. Let's see if we like the church. Let's see if the church likes us. What church does that and has a candidate come 3 weekends in a row? I mean, it kind of makes it sound like it was a prearranged thing or a slam dunk or whatever. But if it was a legitimate candidating, you're testing this out, you're trying to see, well, then that would mean that you don't know yet. You're not sure how it's going to go. And wouldn't that be all the more reason that you would stay in touch with your home base. If you're not sure you're going to get this gig, you probably don't want to 1,000% ignore your home base and your affiliate church. Does that make sense to y'all? I mean, it's like, so this just doesn't, to me, it just doesn't pass the smell test at all. And then I wanted to read this. Karen Black, or Black, that'd be Karen Black, that'd be Cindy Clemenshire's sister, told the Roy's Report in 2007, Pastor Coles, that would have been the pastor at the time, was going to facilitate a meeting between her and Boyd, but then Coles told Black that Brady had declined the meeting. Well, how do we prove that? I tend to believe Karen Black. I believe that Brady Boyd said, I ain't going to meet with her. Had he talked with Robert Morse about it, and Morse said, you stay away from that. Don't you touch that, let alone just, that's going to die. That's going to die. We got it handled. You just stay clear of that. I can't prove or disprove anything, but I'm inclined to believe the Roy's Report reporting what Karen Black said. And I believe Karen Black, when asked whether he requested to speak with Black, but then changed his mind, listen to this. I trust the Roy's Report. They're accurate reporters. So I'm going to take this as pretty factual. Boyd replied, duh, that was 18 years ago. Brother, you ain't passing the smell test. I'm sorry, sir. I don't care how many footstools you sit on. I don't care how many near medical disasters you recount in your 17 minutes up there. I don't think anybody's buying it. Again, ABC ain't buying it. KOOA5 isn't buying it. We're not buying it. Other indications that Boyd knew about Morse abuse 17 years ago include a 2011 anonymous email, just showed you a piece of that, recently filed in a Texas court by Morris lawyer. The email subject line reads, the Robert Morris of Gateway Church in Dallas molests 12-year-old girl. That's right there in the email that was sent to Brady Boyd. But I was preaching for 3 weekends in a row, and they didn't have the internet in Colorado Springs yet, and everything was coming in by the Pony Express. We are out here in the West, you know. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. It was sent to Boyd's bulk. What is a bulk email address? As well as to Cole's New Life email. And if you've got somebody handling your New Life email, isn't that one that you would have forward? I just can't. It doesn't make any sense at this. How many of you, when you still have a job somewhere, can just totally go blank for 3 weeks? I mean, boy, and this is why I grabbed the screenshot. This last line here: Brady Boyd, the guy on the chair, has no explanation for why those emails to the bulk email address did not reach me. When he would say, "Have no idea." Man, that sounds like Aaron when Moses came down from the mountain and said, well, I didn't do this. People came up, they started throwing me all their gold, and I threw it in the fire, and this calf came out. It doesn't, I'm sorry, folks, it just doesn't pass the smell test. Let's watch the rest of this. I'm going to jump off of here. But I take the 6.5 minutes. Right after you watch Robin Torgrimson and Mega Maniacs tonight, this is going to be a big episode. And then I got to go rewatch. I didn't realize Pastor Ray would be on at this time. But anyway, I'm going to play this. There we go.
He says he learned when charges were filed last year.
Shocking. It was mind-numbing. It was awful. It was evil. And he admitted to a 4-year relationship that started when he was 20 years old. The girl, Cindy Clemenshire, was 12 years old when the abuse started. This might even be nitpicky. I'm just going to leave it there. I heard him in this tape 2 different times. He says Cindy Clemenshire. I made that mistake, but I've spent a little time with this and I corrected my mistake. Her name is Clemenshire. It's like, dude, are you just flying blind? You're not even paying any attention. Maybe that's trifling. I think it's telling, actually. And it happened for 4 years until he was 24 and she was 16. I didn't know that. Very few people knew that.
In an effort to get his retirement benefits, Morris spells out in an affidavit related to the lawsuit that in both 2005 and 2007, he spoke with the elders about his sexual abuse of Clemenshire. Halfway through 2007, New Life leaders were vetting Brady Boyd for the job of senior pastor, and Clemenshire's sister alerted the hiring committee that Boyd knew about her abuse.
They found out, they heard in an interview with a family member that Cindy was 12 years old, and they immediately called the elders at Gateway Church and told them. And the elders of Gateway Church said, we're aware of that. It's been handled. Her family, her pastor has given Roberts a thumbs up. They've gone through a process of restoration, and there's nothing left to do. It's already been reported. But the search committee didn't tell me.
But Boyd was an elder at Gateway in 2005, when, according to court documents, Morris told them what he did. Another indication that Boyd knew of the abuse was through a letter the court motion says another Gateway elder sent to him. The motion says after hearing about the victim's sister's accusations from New Life Church, the leadership at Gateway convened an elder meeting on August 28, 2007, and discussed past events involving Morris and Cindy Clemishire. The motion says Boyd was not at that meeting, but he was sent a letter detailing what was discussed. The letter did not say Clemishire was only 12 years old. Boyd has not acknowledged that he received the letter. During the service on June 8th, days after this information came out in court filings, Boyd told his church that he regrets making Morris a spiritual overseer of New Life when he was first hired.
I just want to tell you I'm so sorry that first of all, I did not know, but I would never, ever put a known pedophile in a place of authority in this church.
The church's website
Ooh,
shows
he's
that
calling him a
Boyd also
pedophile.
brought Morris in as a guest speaker and wrote about him as one of his closest friends in his church blog in November 2010. As far as New Life's hiring committee's decision not to report the alleged abuse, in a statement, the church says, quote, after being assured that the abuse had been reported years earlier and that the Morris and Clemishire families had resolved the matter, the committee was confident that those in authority had taken the appropriate steps both legally and spiritually and felt free to move ahead with their pastor search. It has been 43 years since the alleged abuse happened, and 20 years since Morris says he first reported his actions to church elders. Now, Pastor Boyd says he wants justice.
I want him to be brought to justice. He's admitted to this. And I pray for absolute justice and healing for the Clemishire family. I have nothing but compassion for her and for what she went through. That's awful. We got to do everything we can to protect our children, period.
Morris was first charged last year. He's next in court in Oklahoma in September. We'll continue to follow this story as it develops. In studio, Megan Cloherty, News 5.
Folks, there you got it. I got to go. I'm going to tune in to Robin Torgrimson and Mega Maniacs. This is a barn burner that she's got. But in the description in YouTube, on the description for this video, you can find the link. It takes 6.5 minutes. I'm telling you, this is like significant. This might be sort of a trendsetter because news agencies really are news agencies, and they got the resources, and they can't match the commentary provided by Gospel of Narc, Lynn DeMaurice and Vanessa Johnson, who are hindered by my presence on the same podcast, and they've covered it on their shows as well. But the point is, all joking, kidding, and punning aside, this could be a trend-setting thing. This is extremely well done, in my opinion. It is frank, it is forthright, and it is brutal. And so until next time, God bless you. Please like, please share, please subscribe. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the state of Ohio, and we got our problems too here in the state of Ohio, and God bless the United States of America. Good night.
I hear the sweet